Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to see you again in this afternoon. In this meeting, we are going to start discuss about some term of language assessment. We have agreed before that our discussion in language assessment will be limited in designing classroom language assessment only. So all our discussion will focus on that. Well, there are three famous terms in language assessment. It is testing, and then assessing and teaching. Are they similar or different? Let's check it out together. The first, testing. In a simple term, a test is a method of measuring a person's or individual's ability, knowledge, or performance in a given domain. There are some terms here as the keyword of understanding the meaning of testing itself, that there is a method, measuring, and then persons or individuals, and individuals' ability or knowledge, performance, and then a given domain. In testing, the teacher should prepare a method or procedure, whether the instrument will be delivered in the form of multiple choice, in the form of essay, in the form of portfolio, or etc. It is something refers to method in a testing. And then measure. In a testing, the activity will measure the ability or skill or comprehensions in a specific topic or material. And then the term, there is a word individual or person. In testing, we will measure individual or person or a single every single test taker's comprehensions or skill. So it is not a group, it is not a community or etc. It should be individual or person that is measured in the testing of testing activity. And the last keyword, there is domain. Domain mean areas. In a testing, we will measure, we will focus on what kind of areas, what kind of domain, what kind of skill that will be measured. For example, when we produce a test of vocabulary, so it will focus on anything related to the component of vocabulary. If we measure the students' something like pronunciation or other kind of skill, so all we measure will only measure the aspect or the component of pronunciation. Okay. And then the next about assessment. the assessment. The term of assessment is wider than a test. We can make conclusion from a previous discussion about a test that a test itself is the activity of measuring someone's ability or comprehension of performance in a structure or specific procedure in a specific time and with good preparation in instrument. On the other hand, for assessment, it is an ongoing process that encompasses a much wider of domain. Assessment can happen in the middle of a teaching and learning process. For example, when a teacher doing a presentation, and in the middle of presentation she or he asks the student for responding some information about the material being present, so it is categorized as assessing activity. Or when a teacher asks student for do some activity for discussing something with the partner or etc., it is also can be categorized as assessment because there are formal and informal assessment. Okay. And then teaching. Teaching can be identified as engagement between teacher and learner, and to enable their understanding and application of knowledge, concept, and process. In teaching, it includes design and then content selection or material, and the process of delivering material or presentation, and then there will be assessment and reflection. So teaching is more wider than testing and assessing. Between both of teaching and assessing, including in teaching activity. So we can draw into conclusion the three terms of testing, assessing, and teaching into these balloons. Here we start from the biggest balloon, teaching. It is included the activity of assessing and testing because there are a procedure from opening while activity up to closing. While in the middle of teaching and learning process, there will be discussion, there will be presentation, and also there is activity of evaluation, which is included assessing or maybe testing. And then the second is assessing. Assessing is simpler activity, or as I said, it is the activity of measuring knowledge, but it can happening spontaneously in the middle of teaching and learning process. But for testing, it need very well preparation. So testing can be done spontaneously, meanwhile assessing or assessment can be done spontaneously anytime in the middle of teaching and learning process. Okay, that's all. Thank you for the attention. If you have any question, you may deliver your question in our discussion forum. See you.